Hello again, YouTube. This is the Truth Man. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping Off Subject channel. You already know we talk about everything over here. And I'm going to talk about conduct on these streets. Conduct, codes of conduct, golden rules of surviving out here on these streets. If you're not a suburbanite, if you wasn't born into money, and you live in like a lower class or middle class neighborhood, you go to public school, so on and so forth, you black, Latinos too, even white in some cases, this stuff gonna apply to you. And I want to talk about some things that you need to understand about out here. It's a reason why a lot of these youngsters is dying, because nobody ever taught them how to conduct themselves on the street. And I'm going to give you some very good advice when it comes to this. So let's start with, if your kids are getting bullied, let's say you don't have that much money, so you got to live in the hood. Your kids go to public schools with these hood kids that perhaps in many cases were not raised properly, have behavior issues, so on and so forth. You should make it your goal, especially your kids, good kids, you know, they don't bother nobody, they don't steal, stuff like that. You should make it your business to get your kids out of that situation. Like, some kids be feeling helpless and they end up harming themselves, unfortunately. So that's why I want to give you some advice from a parental standpoint, as well as if you like a teenager or even a young man. First thing I want you to understand is that you don't owe the hood anything. You owe yourself. So if somebody is messing with you and they got you outnumbered, then you're not a coward for trying to avoid them. Avoidance is not cowardice. It's not. Like, it's actually the smartest way. It's the smartest way. So perhaps you may need to transfer schools. Perhaps you may need to, your parents, like if you know you live in the hood, first thing, like I told you, you don't owe the hood anything. Why do you live in the hood? Why are you making kids and you live in that situation? How many people got to die and watch their kids die dealing with these type of situations? So you had your kids for your kids to die on the street like a squirrel? Get your kids out of them situations, especially if they low-key, quiet, introvert. Because a lot of times people always try to test the introvert, because they don't know what they're thinking, so they want to start some stuff with them. Case in point, I mentioned a situation I had in high school where they practically was trying to kick me out of the school, and I ain't even get in trouble at school. When I got to high school, I was totally different than I was in middle school and elementary. But these two particular kids, they thought because I used to be low-key, like I put my head on the desk, quiet, they didn't know that I knew once I got to high school, it was all business. Fun and games was over. So I used to be, I wasn't going to skip out parties. Yeah, I skipped a little bit my last year. But I wasn't doing all that stuff that people regret to this day. I was staying away from it. So these guys, I guess they didn't understand that I knew how to fight and that I was just quiet at school. So he made it in his business to, they was back there, I heard them laughing. I ain't even looked back there because I wasn't worried about what they was doing. I was kind of tired that day because I was playing video games kind of late. And so I get to school, I'm in homeroom like this with my head down. I hear them laughing in the back. I ain't even look at them. Next thing I know, I heard some noise like they was shooting something, like they was practicing. Then, so I said, ah, man, I thought I got stung by a bee, like right behind my ear. I reached around, I saw blood, I felt something in there, I pulled it out, it was a staple, like some staples together in a piece of cardboard. And they had made a slingshot, and they shot it at me like I'm a little punk or something, just because I'll be quiet. I heard them laughing. I got up, they was looking at me, I went right back there, fired on one of them. I hit him so hard. This is the God honest truth. I hit him so hard that everywhere my fist was on his face was damaged. His eye was swollen up. I broke his nose. He had a little thing right here, and his lip wouldn't stop bleeding. It was kind of like right here. And everybody in the class, some of them saw it. They was like, "Ooh!" Then the other dude, I went after him. He leaned up against the little wallpaper board, like, "Hey, my fault. I'm sorry, man. Sorry." Sometimes I think I should have hit him anyway. But they would have expelled me then, because they tried to get me for that. So they called security. Security escorted us to the office. We sitting right next to him. They give him an ice pack, all this stuff. You know, he got stuff all in his nose. He still apologized. I ain't even saying nothing to him. Because, like, I really wanted to get him, like throw down with him. But when I saw that punch, it just stunned him, man. He was practically out on his feet. So he kind of slid down the board, got back up. He was like woozy. And they kind of like grabbed me. You know, then security came and they escorted us to the office. And so the principal was the type that liked the bad kid. So he saw that punch. He said, "You're suspended until I tell you," what he say? You know, he said, "You're suspended indefinitely. Don't come back to school until I tell you." Normally suspensions was two or 3 days. It had been 3 days. I called because he told me I had to call him. I called after 3 days. "Hey, can I come back to school?" "No, you ain't coming back yet." 4 days. "Hey, can I come back to school?" I think it was like the 5th day he let me come back to school. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But what I want to tell you, pick your battles. Because especially in 2023, these people do not go one-on-one. They don't. So if I was you, especially if you undersized, just kind of do some push-ups. Make sure you're getting a nice amount of food. If you got to work a job or you got to be honest with somebody, "Hey, we ain't eating that much in my house. You know, I need to make sure I'm eating," so you can bulk up. It's better for you to be a fat kid than to be a skinny kid and short. Because, like, a bully, that's going to be his main target. So, you know, you want to pick your battles. When you at school, do not be arguing with these people. None of that stuff. Just go to school, do your work. You know, if you cool with somebody, talk to them. If somebody you don't like or don't know that they try to talk some slick stuff to you, just kind of try to ignore them. Don't feed into it. But if you got to do what you got to do, then you got to do what you got to do. But you got to understand that these people can't take a L, and they be carrying guns and stuff like that. So I would say I'm gonna do a short on this as well. Don't test nobody's gangster. Respect everybody's gangster, but don't fear nobody's gangster. I don't care how many people they be with. Hey, if you gotta run, you gotta run, but don't do it out of fear. Do it out of intelligence. Remember how Stan said on Martin, sometimes it take a big man to run like a little girl? He's right. Sometimes you gotta run. I learned that the hard way when I was younger, trying to walk off. They all ran. I'm trying to walk off like I'm tough. And the dude was like, "Yeah, you was with them." I said, "Man, I ain't got nothing to do with that, man." I tried to go about my business. He fired me. Bang. So I'm trying to fight him. And when I started getting the upper hand, I noticed they was starting to look mad and come around me. And I looked at one of them and bloop, he hit me right in the nose, bust my nose. Then I ran after that. But I was thinking, like, when I got home, I was like, I should have ran in the first place like all of them did. I told them, like, why y'all run and leave me there with them dudes, man? So the next day I was supposed to fight the dude head up because he couldn't beat me. Like, he just couldn't beat me. I was gonna shame that boy. He got to apologize. Oh, man, I'm so sorry, man. Man, I don't want to fight you, man. You know, I'm like, yeah, we still finna fight, though. He said, nah, man, I ain't even gonna fight you, man. It ain't even like that, man. It was just a misunderstanding, all that. I just left. Like, I waved my hand at dude and kept going. But he was landing some shots on me because he was with all his boys. And I was fighting back, but I wasn't fighting him like I would have fought him if it was my guys and his guys there. I was like, man, I should have just ran. Because, boy, when I looked, like they was finna jump in, and he stunned me right in the nose. Bling. So, you don't gotta be a hood cat to be brave or be a tough guy. Just pick your battles. Make sure you got guns like they got guns. Every time you see somebody on a gun on a video or something like that, make sure you getting those same guns. But if you live around these guys, you gonna have to put them guns up somewhere when you're not at home. Get you a safe, get you some Ring doorbells, and get you a safe that they can't lift. And put your guns up when you're not at home so they can't get them, because that's where they getting these guns. They stealing them out of cars, and they stealing them out of people's houses when they go to work. So put your guns up. Get you an alarm on your house, Ring doorbells, and put your guns up. Don't make it easy for them to get your valuables. So I think we're going to have to make a series out of this because we got so much more to talk about. But again, don't test nobody's gangster. Respect everybody's gangster, but don't fear nobody's gangster. My mind, I don't care who you know. I don't care who you killed. None of that stuff. If me and you have it out, you just going to be a regular person to me. Now, my goal is to avoid all that and avoid people that's what they think is life. They think life is going back and forth, having ops, shooting and all that. No, I'm avoiding all them. But I'm not going to be out here scared of another man. And so, yo, kids, like, if you a teenager, learn basic fight moves, watch some video. You know, if you got to take some classes, you know, and just stay away from them. Stay away from them. If you know these dudes think they tough because they be 10 deep, don't go where they go. Or if you could be cool with them, be cool with them, man. That's strategy. That's strategy. It's not fair. It's strategy. Why would you try to be at odds with a bunch of dudes that's 10 deep? Just saying. The other day I saw a bunch of dudes, they was acting like they was all tough because it was a lot of them. It was like 15 of them. Man, I got up out of there. For what? Because I know I ain't going to get scared. I've been and got mad and all them dudes will be on my head. And if I get to winning, they liable to shoot. It's not even worth. I wasn't born for violence. Neither were you. If we got to do it, we got to do it. But it should be avoided if possible. But that's all I had on there. You know, we're going to talk about this some more. Because it's a whole lot more. People don't be street smart. You go into ATMs in the hood at 11 o'clock at night and you wonder why you done been robbed 3 times. What you trying to prove? But anyway, thanks for watching. Keep tuning in for more videos.